Santu Niramayah. Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu. Ma Kaschid Dukkha Bhag Bhavet. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. May every creature in this world be happy, free from illness, aspire to see good, and be free from misery. May peace pervade. Once again, good morning all and welcome. My name is Raghu Ganapati, Secretary and Treasurer of IIRF. And with these ancient lines from the Upanishads, I welcome you all to the launch of IIRF Americas. We are indeed honored to have in attendance the United States Congressman, the Honorable Mark Veazey, who proudly represents Texas's Congressional District 33 in the U.S. House of Representatives. Colonel Dr. Vijay Chenji, Chairman IIRF, our most distinguished panel of experts addressing today's symposium, IIRF India's Board of Governors and guests in this room and in virtual tech space from across the world. My fellow board members and I hope that you have a fulfilling and thought-provoking exchange of ideas on today's subject of Indo-US security and economy. Please take a moment and join me to honor the service and sacrifice of service members, past and current, of the armed forces and to all of law enforcement to keep you and me safe in our homes. A gentle reminder to our guests, please mute your cell phones. And if you do need to take a call, please do that outside. I'd like to start things off with a small introductory video on IIRF, after which I would like to invite our President Guru Saule to kick things off. God bless America and Jai Hind. John, the video.
Indus International Research Foundation is a global think tank with its physical presence in India and USA. It is a global network of scholars, professionals, and veterans based in various parts of the globe. The foundation focuses primarily on international relations, Indian heritage, political economy, and security studies. While the uniqueness of IIRF India lies in the fact that it seeks solution to national and international problems through the prisms of Indian ethos, philosophy, and civilizational wisdom, IIRF Americas is committed to act as a bridge between the people, academics, enterprise, and businesses of the two democracies to join hands for a better world and a better tomorrow. It also tries to bring the people of two countries together. True to its motto, IIRF aims to provide forum to the voices from all quarters, geographies, and gender, who question dominant narratives. It is this plurality of thought, so unique to Indian tradition, that IIRF seeks to carry abroad, while simultaneously bringing contemporary global debates to India. If mankind is to survive as a civil society, there is no alternative other than to share the resources of the universe equitably for the benefit of all. IIRF believes in the Indian wisdom contained in Vedas that says, "Nature is the sole owner of all the treasure of this universe, and there is enough for everyone."
Good morning, everyone. Thank you for sparing your Sunday and Sunday morning, and thank you for being here. We're not going to keep you for an entire day. And for those of you who've logged in from outside US, particularly India and other countries, a warm welcome to everyone. Congressman Mark Veazey, thank you so much for accepting our invite at a very short notice. We're truly honored to have you here today. Because this is a significant occasion for the foundation, Indus International Research Foundation. We're launching the US chapter, and it's our honor to have you. Welcome. And Melissa, thank you for being here, and thanks for everything you're doing as well. So we would like to kind of get this event going, and you know, when it comes to this foundation, when I started inviting people, I had one common question from every potential guest. And the question was, what is IIRF, right? And I say IIRF is a think tank. And people are like wondering, what is the think tank? What do you do exactly? What do you deliver? And what goes into it? What's your product? What's your service? And who's getting benefited out of it? And or is it just meeting here for a seminar and having a nice time on a Sunday morning? So we're going to, I'm sure, demystify the concept of think tank this morning, and I'm hoping all of you will walk away with a complete awareness of what we do and the kind of impact we're trying to make both in India and in the United States. Before I start the presentation, it's a quick presentation. I'd like to invite a couple of volunteers from audience. Can somebody share your perspective of what a think tank is? Anyone in the audience? Louder, please. You have a mic? Yeah. And this question is also an invite to people online. So if you want to speak, let us know.
My rudimentary understanding of think tank is a group of people that explore and brainstorm ideas and bring together a meaningful research for that can potentially be put to some practical use. So a lot of examples, I cannot name any specifically, but I think DC has a lot of think tanks. So
sure.
So that's my understanding.
Awesome. You have a winning answer right in the morning. So that's a great start, right? Anyone else? Just one more volunteer and we'll get going. Yeah, Satish, yes.
Hello, everyone. Good morning. My idea of think tank is to understand various societal problems and bring about a change for the future, because it all starts around us. And when we are thinking about these two big democracies, US and India, both the countries can help each other. And I think in this forum, over a period of time, I would like to see ideas which translates into solutions, which could also help business or people, or it could be anything. And bringing learned people together will always bring greater ideas in the future.
Fantastic. Ideas to solutions. I like that, Satish. Thank you for bringing it up. And before I forget, again, we're honored to have all the speakers. All the speakers are online today in the next session. And I'll cover the agenda quickly. John, can we move to the next slide, please? So I have a very simple definition, and both of you pretty much alluded to this. A think tank is an organization that gathers a group of interdisciplinary scholars to perform research around particular policies, issues, or ideas. And we'll talk more as we go along. I just wanted to kind of, have this icebreaker going. So now we're all thinkers and scholars for the next 3 hours, right? So let's think together. John, move on. Yeah. So, look at that number, subject to some due diligence. I just picked it up from a data source on the internet. Close to about 2,000 think tanks in US. US leads the stack on think tanks in the world, followed by Great Britain and Germany, which clearly shows why US is indeed the knowledge capital, complemented well by India. Some examples of think tanks: Cato Institute, Manhattan Institute of Policy Research, Brookings, and American Enterprise Institute. And there are thousands of others, but I just wanted to kind of share some examples. So some of you who are new to the concept of think tank can kind of start relating to it. John? So our vision is pretty simple. While we want to grow, this is not a commercial organization. It's a nonprofit. So it's not about money. It's about making the right impact at a micro level and at a macro level. Impact on people, societies, and between nations, with everything that's going on in the geopolitical environment around us. I think the two democracies, there's a lot we can talk about and explore and see what we can implement from IIRF. Next slide, please. So what are we going to do the next couple of hours today? And I'll run through the quick agenda. I know we had the agenda sheets outside, and those of you who picked it up, thank you for going through. We're just getting this event going. We have some eminent guests today with us. We have Colonel Chenji, who started this foundation in India. He's in US and he's right here with us. And we will have him address us today on his first international expansion into the US. We also have a surprise visitor from India here, and I'll keep the surprise until I invite him to come on stage. He's in the audience, and he is a real-time case study, a real-time living example of what think tanks can do to be in the ecosystem to promote the kind of collaboration that we are desiring to, and how the countries can come together and at what level and to what depth the collaboration be facilitated. I really want him to come and share the story, which he will do. And after he speaks, we'd like to invite Congressman to kind of inaugurate the US chapter. We'll have a lamp lighting ceremony, and we can't wait to light the lamp, with your blessings. And post that, we have a small video. Some of the members of Indian IIRF in India are actually celebrities in the music world with Saregama fame. Saregama is analogical to being an Indian Idol. So we have a American Idol. So we have a equivalent of American Idol in India, who's put together a small cultural event for us to see, and we'll see that. We'll take a break after about 45 minutes to 50 minutes, and then kick off the seminar. We have 4 speakers. We have Ambassador Trigunath, Rajendra Dechpalli, Priya Samant. Rajendra and Priya are in Boston. They'll be logging in from Boston. And Ambassador Trigunath and Vice Admiral Sinha are in India. So just to kind of reiterate, this is a hybrid event. And this is the first time we are trying. This is the first in-person event, and this is also a first hybrid event, a video conference along with in-person event. So please bear with us if there are any technology glitches going forward. Hopefully not. We are in safe hands with John. Thank you for being here, and let's hope we get this event going through quickly. Post the speaking engagements from speakers. We'll have a Q&A panel, and we have lunch after the event. So please, be with us to have lunch and talk more and socialize. So that's pretty much how the next 2 to 3 hours go. And you're more than welcome to interact. This is not a monologue, and we want all of you to kind of get involved. As I said earlier, now that we know what think tank is, we're all thinkers, and let's think together going forward. Next slide, please. So it's my turn to welcome and honor Dr. Vijay Chenji. Dr. Chenji is a living legend. I'm saying that not because of his qualifications, not because of his doctoral degrees, not because of his selection in National Defense Academy, which is like going to West Point in India at a very early age. He fought 1971 war. He's a great combination of knowledge, military leadership, vision for the world, for India, for US, for the society, and culture. He's a PhD in Sanskrit after retirement from a successful career in army. He's still studying, and I think he celebrated his 70th birthday skydiving and parajumping in Indonesia. So he gives me a complex when it comes to fitness and being athletic, and so the great example to emulate. He's got several feathers in his cap. I just picked up a couple of them from his long profile. It's almost impossible to do justice to, introduce people with such deep backgrounds. And I'm just trying my best. So please pardon me if I'm missing out some of the important, components of your background. He served in some of the most difficult terrain in India. 71, he just celebrated 50 years of war with Pakistan, where he's one of the heroes, won several awards in Army, recipient of Army Chief's Commendation Card for bravery during Northeast insurgency, Masters in Ancient History, Philosophy and PhD, he's also a Sanskrit scholar, student of Veda, Upanishads, and Advaita Vedanta. And we're going to learn a lot from Colonel Chenji today. I don't want to stand between you and him. Invite Colonel Chenji. Let's put our hands together to welcome.
Can get it up.
Yeah, just slide it up this way.
Yeah. Nice. Thank you, Raghu. Namaste to you all. Good morning, good evening, and greetings to each one of you from Indus International Research Foundation. Respected President IIRF USA, I welcome you all to this inaugural function of the US chapter. At the outset, I extend a very warm welcome to all of you and to our very special and distinguished chief dignitary, Mr. Mark Vesey, to this momentous event for the launch of Indus International Research Foundation USA chapter. I also welcome all the distinguished speakers in the event. Indus International Research Foundation was established as a non-profit organization in the year 2019. It's a think tank comprising primarily from the defense and academia. So what exactly are our goals? Today, the world, despite technological advancement, is ridden with strife and violence, causing untold suffering to the peoples and societies all over the world. Our primary focus is to seek solutions to national and international problems to alleviate the pains and mitigate the hardships. To do this, we provide a platform to all thinkers, researchers, and intellectuals to publish the thoughts and concepts that can influence the lawmakers to legislate necessary laws which will make a difference in people's lives. We at IIRF strongly believe that if mankind is to survive as a civil society, there is no alternative other than to share the resources of the universe equitably for the benefit of all. In an age when nations are turning inwards, putting self-interest above others, we feel that the Indian civilization, philosophy, and traditions have much to offer to the world to resolve contradictions through mutual interaction. Our foundation also endeavors to prepare India in facing the challenges of the 21st century as an economic and knowledge power to contribute to the bit to the common good of humanity. The foundation of our philosophy is enshrined in the ancient Indian wisdom contained in our Upanishads. Nature is the sole owner of all the treasure in the universe, and there is enough for everyone. This is from Isha Upanishad. One of the objectives is to transcend boundaries of mind. Given the similarities of both the US and India, it was natural that we decided USA as our first milestone to extend our frontiers. So when Mr. Guru Saule came up with the idea of starting a US chapter, I was excited. And since then, we both have been working together to make it happen. The Indus team, though back in India, I'm talking about, though experienced, is aging. Therefore, one of our goals is to create a second tier of young leaders in the IIRF to take on the responsibilities as and when the opportunity presents itself. Today, both these dreams have become a reality. Why I say this? Because the US chapter is young, dynamic, and very talented. We in India are very upbeat and optimistic that together we can achieve a lot. India and the US, being the largest and the oldest democracies, are natural allies that respect freedom, liberty, and justice. While USA is a technological giant, India, with its 5,000 years of old surviving civilization, is emerging as the next technology hub in the other hemisphere. IIRF envisages bringing the peoples of these two nations to usher in a new hope for humanity based on the ancient Indian philosophy of Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam, meaning the world is one big family. IIRF aims to enhance the people-to-people contacts and build bridges across the oceans and influence lawmakers, administrators, and intellectuals to forge a strong society that will rid the world of violence and promote peace, harmony, and economic development that will make the world a better place to live in. I congratulate Mr. Guru Saule, the president of IIRF, USA, and his energetic team for organizing this event at such a short notice. I look forward to some very fruitful and constructive outcome from this event. My best wishes to all the organizers from both India and US for the success of this launch. I thank each and everyone who have contributed to this historic and memorable event. I thank and appreciate you all for taking time off from a hard-earned weekend to make this event successful. Like back home, they say, "Aap hai to hum hai." Thank you very much. And lastly, I'm grateful to Guru Saule and his wife, Padmaji, who's here for my very comfortable stay. Back in India, you all know we have an Indian tradition, Athitis Devo Bhava. They seem to have taken it literally. And I'm only like a god, not the god. Athitis Devo Bhava. Our special thanks to our chief guest for sparing his most valuable time. I know as a congressman, he must be so busy, and yet he's taken off his Sunday, and he has a lot of other personal commitments. I'm very grateful to you, sir. And may God bless USA and Jai Hind. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Colonel Vijay, for being here and all your wisdom. You said, "Aap hai to hum hai." I'm translating that for the benefit of Congressman and Melissa here with us. You might not have understood what it is. It means if you're there, we are here. So he's just acknowledging the presence of everyone. It's time to move on to our next segment. As I told you, we have a surprise, and I'm going to reveal that surprise right now. One of the things we want to do at the foundation is to kind of promote Indo-US collaboration. I know there are several organizations across India and US who orchestrate the same theme, right? There are several people who are working on it, and several organizations, both profit and non-profit, are doing phenomenal work in bringing both countries together. At IIRF, we're not doing, it's not rocket science. We're not reinventing the wheel, but what we're trying to do is try to create an impact at the macro level and at the micro level, and see how communities can come together as well as solve some of the significant, it's not that we are solving, kind of create an ecosystem where we can access resources, bring resources from both countries together, and produce the output that's required. And I want to invite Mr. Dhaval Raval. He has flown all the way from India, and he was in LA. When I sent him the invite, he looked at this vision of IIRF, and he said, "Look, it looks very similar to our vision, and I want to fly down to Dallas." So he just flew down at 3 o'clock in the morning, all the way from LA just for this event. Put our hands together for Dawal Rahul. Dawal, thank you for coming. I'm going to invite you in just a minute. Just want to introduce you to the audience. He's a very successful entrepreneur. I've known him recently, but he's made a tremendous impact. He runs a defense projects company. He's specializing in aerospace and defense, and his company Abhyuday Projects is talking to several states across US to invest and to create aerospace and defense clusters, which will help the world solve some supply chain issues in that space, as well as he's also in the leadership team of space and defense committees in India. He's also the ASSOCHAM chairman from Gujarat, and he's tremendous in terms of vision. He's on the way to establishing several industrial clusters in the US across several states. And Dawal, come share with us your model. Thank you for being here. We have about 3 to 4 minutes, and we'd like to see the proof of your concept. Thank you. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah. Good morning and namaste to all. This is about the US Cluster Development Program that will provide a cooperation between SMEs and middle level companies of India and US in defense sector. Next, please. Background of the project, I would like to say that we all believe that the global security and peace is depending upon the great alliance of the two great democracies, that is the oldest and largest, US and India, for the future of the world. So that we have the various alliances like Quad for Indo-Pacific security. And I am talking about the defense sector. So for India, the defense manufacturing was only government business. And from last 6 to 8 years, it is open for the private sectors in India. And we run a program of Make in India in Defense. That is a self-reliance objective. And India plans to procure around 250 billion US dollar of equipments in the next 8 to 10 years. And there is a general perception that India buys all the major defense platforms from Russia. But it is unnoticed that all the top strategists and policymakers in Ministry of Defense in India and the procurement agencies, we are willing to go towards the Western technology, and all the future specifications of our procurement are on NATO specifications. Okay, from aircraft to artillery guns to small arms. Like in guns, we are now inviting the specification of 125 mm shell per gun. For small arms, it is 7.62 mm, that is NATO specification. And the proof is India in recent years have brought around 20 billion US dollar platforms, that is including Chinooks, Apache, and M77 howitzers. Next. So my company, my cluster in India has around 600 members of aerospace and defense companies under one umbrella. And I visited in 2018 to the DC as a part of government delegation for Indo-US cooperation. I was here to invite the US tier 1 OEMs to the India for their manufacturing and vendor development. But as we all know that the US America is a land of invention. So we also got some different business model invented here. And for financial terms, it was like a reverse merger. What happened that we met with the US tier 1s and USIBC and Honorable Senators Mark Warner, John Cornyn, who were chair of India caucus in the Senate. And we invited these companies to set up some projects in India. But they said, no, we can't put our finger in India because we have some procurement agencies, we have some certifications required and some compliances required. We can't do shopping in India. So General Warner said, you come here. So we took that challenge, sir. And from that 2018 to 22, this is my 5th visit. And I am happy to announce that we are setting up some industrial defense manufacturing clusters in US. And we are inviting around 20 to 30 Indian companies in the first phase for the manufacturing in US. And there will be US entities supporting the US tier 1 companies. Next. So the objective is to create a platform where we can have the engagement of mid-level companies like Boeing or Lockheed Martin going to India. They do tie up with Tata or L&T. Okay, but the small and medium companies are the they are the ecosystem. There is always pyramid structure. Like Boeing has 7,000 vendors. So to engage these middle level companies is our prime focus. And our objective is to expand the defense industrial base in USA to support the US tier 1s for their cost saving initiative. We want to focus on their import substitute items, what they are importing from China or Europe, what they are having the issues for the supply chain. We want to manufacture in US as a local entity. Next. So I said the expanding the defense manufacturing base. So this has a reference to one report of the DOD here. It is a very recent report of February 22. Next. As per this report, in last 2-3 decades, the defense industrial base has shrunk by 40%. So if we take example of the tactical missiles, fixed wing aircrafts, launch vehicles, in 90s, there were around 13 major contractors, and in 2020, it has reduced to 3. And as per this report, it estimates that in US, in next 10 years, there will be 15,000 suppliers will be reduced from this base. So this is a threat to the national security. And if we used to import these items, it will always be a critical issue when there is a supply chain. Next. So we have around 75,000 engineering companies as a cluster members in our state. And we work in the critical areas like casting, forging, 3D metal printing, advanced manufacturing, microelectronics, ESTM. Next. So what we are doing, we will be providing a one umbrella solution for Indian companies in a cluster model where they will be provided a soft landing. All the support services will be in a one umbrella, and we focus on the hybrid manufacturing. That means the system level integration will happen in US. All the critical parts where the machining and more manpower is required will be done in India, and the testing, certification, and assembly line will be set up in US. And our members will also be provided a support for outreach, vendor development, and marketing in this cluster model. Next. Thanks. And I congratulate the leadership and the members of IIRF. And I am strongly propose to open one chapter of IIRF in my state, Gujarat. And we are very eager to start it fast. We have a defense expo in October 18 to 22, and we can announce that chapter with my Chamber of Commerce in Gujarat in this October. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dhaval, for sharing the model and also for your magnanimity to start IIRF in Ahmedabad and have the blessings of Chambers of Commerce. I think that's a great step forward for IIRF India and US, because he's going to be 2 weeks in India and 2 weeks in US now on. So Dhaval, thank you. Thank you for sharing that. I know we are slightly running behind time, but I want to get to a point quickly where we have our congressman speaking to us. And Congressman Mark Vesey, as I mentioned earlier, when people like you are guests, it's hard to do justice to introduce. So I just printed out a document. I'm going to read it off. The background, it's my privilege. It's truly my honor to introduce a young leader in Dallas who's representing us in the Congress. And what really struck me when I read his profile, and I was having a chat with Melissa before Mark arrived, is his focus on middle class and the kind of work he's doing in the local community in Dallas, Texas, as well as, of course, impacting United States. He's also in the Armed Forces Committee. And as a coincidence, this ecosystem in IIRF, as a coincidence, has a tremendous component of armed forces, both in India and here. And so it looks like the DNA is kind of skewing towards defense. And then we're also going to balance it with the corporate world. So that's why Dhaval was here. Anyway, so thank you for being here. United States Congressman Mark Vesey proudly represents Texas newly drawn Congressional District 33 in the U.S. House of Representatives. Representative Vesey is an advocate for Texas middle-class families and is committed to creating jobs. And no wonder the unemployment problem is kind of getting more and more dilute. We're not finding people, the more jobs than people, thanks to leaders like Mark Vesey. Thank you for all the work you're doing. Improving public education, fighting for immigration reform. And most of us coming as Indian Americans, we can't appreciate better the immigration challenges, and we're so much safer with leaders like Mark Vesey with us, and ensuring access to quality healthcare and women's reproductive rights. Roe versus Wade is dominating the news every day, and I'm sure Mark is doing his bit in the Congress. Congressman Vesey was appointed in the 117th Congress to serve on the Committee on Energy and Commerce and House Armed Services Committee. Prior to his committee appointments, Representative Vesey served on the Armed Services Committee and the Committee on Science, Space, and Technology. And throughout his time in Congress, Mr. Vesey founded the first Congressional Voting Rights Caucus to address the immediate need to eliminate the barriers and discrimination too many Americans face at the polls. And election issues they're not only apparent, they're significant, especially in the current context in what's happening in the world and in US as well. He accepted his appointment as an assistant and regional whip. In the 117th Congress, Congressman was appointed to serve as a whip for the Gun Violence Protection Task Force. Uvalde is still fresh in all our minds. And again, Congressman, thank you for the work you're doing in to prevent or dilute the problem of gun violence. And that is something you have support from all of us. And if there's any which way we can volunteer from IIRF to do anything for to bring down the gun violence, we'd like to volunteer. And currently a member of the U.S. Helsinki Commission, Congressional Black Caucus, and the New Democrat Coalition. He also co-launched the Blue Collar Caucus with Congressman Brendan Bale to find solutions to problems too many middle-class Americans are facing. The Blue Collar Caucus supports unions and focuses on addressing wage stagnation, offshoring, and job insecurity for those in the manufacturing and building trades. First elected to the Texas State House in 2004, Congressman Vesey represented District 95, an area now part of the 33rd Congressional District. As a member of the Texas State House, Representative Vesey served in a number of leadership positions, including Democratic Whip and Chair of the Democratic Caucus. Issues he championed included fighting for the affordable health care, funding for better schools, and advocating for a livable wage. Prior to serving 4 terms in the Texas House of Representatives, Representative Vesey worked as a congressional staffer in North Texas for Congressman Martin Frost. The congressman was born and raised in Fort Worth, Texas. He and his wife, Tanya, live in the Metroplex and have a 13-year-old son, Adam. And thank you, your family, for sparing you for us this morning. And Congressman, let's put our hands together for Congressman Vesey. And we will light the lamp, and then we'll like you to address International Foundation, Indus International Research Foundation. For those of you online in India and elsewhere in the world, we're just kicking off the inauguration. Here's Congressman Mark Vesey. He'll be walking towards the lamp and the significance of lighting lamp to bring those cosmic energies and give us an auspicious start. We have Padma, my wife, holding the candle, ready to kick off, and I'm going to be joining them and be back with you pretty soon.
Thank you.
We're just done with lamp lighting. IIRF US is inaugurated. We'll have the inaugural address from Mark Vesey. Thank you so much.
Thank you, and it's wonderful to be with everybody this morning. I really appreciate being invited to participate in the lamp lighting service and to talk with you about research. I thought it was really fitting to open up the program to talk about all the different think tanks in DC, because as it was mentioned, there are a ton of think tanks in DC for every cause and every issue or problem or topic that you can possibly think of. And today, particularly as this is a organization that's really founded around a lot of international research and how we can make the world better, I thought I would focus a little bit on the U.S.-India relationship and just how important I think that is, particularly as in this area here in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, we have one of the largest growing Indian populations in the state of Texas, probably one of the largest in the country. I know the district that I represent, after redistricting, I'm going to have a very large portion of the Indian community based in Irving, Texas, out in the Valley Ranch area. And so I think working on some of these issues are very important. And some of the areas in Irving that I represent are some of the most diverse areas in the entire country. The area along North MacArthur, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, in that one zip code, I think you have about 60 different languages that are spoken right in the North MacArthur, Irving zip code area. And so one of the areas that I really think is important that India and America work on is immigration. Our immigration system continues to be broken. It needs to be fixed. There are a lot of reforms that need to take place in the area of immigration. One area of concern here in Texas and around the country, of course, is the H-1B visa and a lot of the reforms that need to take place in the H-1B visas. As you know, we haven't lifted here in the U.S. The number of visas in around 20 years. And the number of H-1B visas that we currently issue here in the United States is literally less than 0.5%, not even 1 full percent, less than 0.5% of the total workforce. Of course, in order to grow the U.S. economy, we will need to have a lot more than that. Some estimate that it needs to be well over 300,000 visas a year that are issued in order for the U.S. to maintain its competitiveness in technology, in defense, in these other key critical areas. That is just one area where I believe that if we could work that out, it would certainly strengthen both the U.S. And our relationship with India on this very important topic, because so many of the families that are here in the U.S., once their visa expires, their entire family has to leave, and it's just issues like that that really need to be fixed, I think, in order to help strengthen that relationship that we have. Another area that I think that we need to really talk about, particularly as we grow in diversity, is obviously, how we treat, one another, how we interact with one another as humans. Growing up here in Texas, we used to really only have three noticeable ethnic groups here. We had Black, we had white, and we had Mexican. Now, as our population continues to grow, and like I said, Irving has a zip code with over 60 different languages that are spoken. The Hispanic community has grown to be much, much larger than the Mexican community now. We have people here from Honduras. We have lots of people here from Nicaragua, from other parts of Central America and South America that make up, parts of Latin America, and are adding to the Latino community here in the North Texas area. We have lots of different African languages and countries that are represented here in the North Texas area. People from Nigeria, people from the Congo, people from elsewhere. And of course, the other part of that population that has grown has been the South Asian population. Again, I mentioned in Valley Ranch, Plano, South Lake, other communities that have a very large South Asian population. And as we continue to grow, we need to make sure that we are interacting well with each other and trying to better understand each other's culture, each other's languages, experiences, origins. All those things are going to be very, very important for us to be able to maintain the type of country that makes America the type of place that is desirable for people to come to from all around the world. We just had a very unfortunate incident in Plano. Some of you may have saw it on the news. There were 3 Indian women that were going to dinner, and as they were getting ready to leave, they were confronted by a woman that told them to go back to India. Again, if we don't foster the type of understanding that with one another, then think about the type of world that our young people, our kids, our grandkids are going to inherit. And for people like that woman that was screaming at those 3 Indian women, what she doesn't understand is that a lot of people from the Indian community now, they've been born here in America, and they're not from India. They were born here in America, or they're naturalized citizens. And so there is no anything ridiculous like saying to someone, go back to India. And so making sure that we have these conversations, that we're very candid and very blunt, and that we have these conversations, that we not be afraid to have these conversations. I know a lot of people, it makes them uncomfortable even mentioning anything around race. But when incidents like that happen, you'll see them continue to grow unless we do have the discussion and we talk about them and talk about them in all seriousness. Another area that I think is hugely important in the U.S.-India relationship that needs to continue to be discussed, that's the area of energy consumption. As you know, as more and more of India continues to be electrified, and I think now that well over 90% of India has electricity, and with India being one of the world's largest populations, making sure that India is also being able to be a part of the technologies that are going to be coming online as it relates to electric vehicles, as it relates to renewable energy. That's going to be important. That's going to be important for the air quality in India. And again, air quality is something that's global. And so as India's population continues to grow, any technologies that we can share with our friends in India, we need to be able to do that. And any technologies that India have in this area of electric vehicles, of solar, wind is important. I don't know how many of you know, but right here in the state of Texas, people think of us as an oil and gas state. But right here in this very state of Texas, we produce about 28% of our electricity from wind and solar. It's the largest footprint out of any in the U.S., even more than California. And in addition to that, it's actually a larger percentage of renewable energy that's used on our grid, which is known as ERCOT, than in the entire European Union. We produce a larger percentage of our energy from renewable energy here, just in the state of Texas, than they do in the entire EU. And so that's important. So as India, again, continues to grow, continues to come online, being able to work together and share these technologies to make vehicles run cleaner, so our kids can have clean air to be able to breathe when they go outside and play and run and grow. All of those issues are going to be hugely important. And again, I can't think of two countries that are better poised to be able to share those advancements in that area than the U.S. And India. And finally, the area that I think that we need to continue to talk about and grow as it relates to the U.S.-India relationship, obviously, is defense. Many of you know that right here in the North Texas area, in my hometown of Fort Worth, we have about 19,000 people that work at Lockheed Martin in Fort Worth, where for many, many years the F-16 was made, and now the F-35 is made. India, as the colonel will tell you, has a tremendous Air Force and a tremendous military, and we want to be able to share in those technologies. It's going to be hugely important for the U.S.-India relationship that when we see democracy threatened around the world, that we stand up to that democracy being threatened, particularly with our two countries being two of the largest democracies in the entire world. We need to be the models for standing up to oppression, to standing up to tyranny, standing up to unlawful invasions, particularly as we see a rising China. We see a rising China near India continue to support Putin and what he's doing and how he's trying to threaten the underpinnings of the liberal democracy order that we've all known, that we've all existed and thrived in since World War II. And the reason why Putin wants to do that is because he wants to see countries like India, and he wants to see countries like the U.S. threatened, and he wants to see our progress stalled. He doesn't like the fact that India is moving ahead so rapidly, rapidly ahead of Russia when it comes to new technology that is coming into the market, new innovations that are coming to the market. That's a threat to Putin for him to see India do so well. It's a threat for Putin to see the U.S. doing so well and the Soviet Union collapsing. It's been something that he's been obsessed with since 1991, something that he wants to try to restore. We can never let him restore that. We have to make sure that our countries work together and that we do everything we can to prevent that, and that we always keep our eye closely on a rising China, because China sees democracy as a threat too. The Chinese, yes, they are capitalists, no question about that. They want to make as much money as they can possibly make, but they are also authoritarians. They are also people that want to oppress the voices of their own people. They always break their word. Look at what happened when the British turned full control of Hong Kong over to the Chinese. And they said, oh no, everything's going to be the same. We're going to still let Hong Kong operate as an independent and an autonomous area. They'll just be under China now. As soon as the British left, they immediately moved in to try to suppress that. They'll do the same thing to us. That is why it's important that we stand up to them. And when we see them making unlawful invasions, we say no, and we stand together and we tell Putin to go back and sit down and reform your country and bring it up to the standards of the rest of the world. And so with that, I will take my seat now. I actually have to get ready to head back to Fort Worth. But I just want to say thank you very much for inviting me out this evening to be a part of this inaugural event. I think that this is great. I've enjoyed listening to the speakers that preceded me. Colonel, thank you very much. And let's continue to grow the India-U.S. relationship. Let's continue to strengthen our families, grow the middle class, and do what is good for the world. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, for those of you online, Congressman is leaving. We're going to take a short break. We'll come back after a 5-minute break and get going with the event. And my apologies to all the 4 speakers. We're running slightly behind schedule. We will be back in 5 minutes. Thank you.
We have this.
Yeah, you can start from here, so we can. No. It reflects them from.
Oh, yeah.
You will come. No, you come with yours.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that way your notes. Yeah.
No. Yes, right.
Thank you so much, Councilor. Thanks for coming.
Thank you very much. Appreciate everybody.
Thank you very much. Good night. Thank you very much for making this happen. Without you, we know that we have no choice.
Only Congressman can do. Yeah, program. Okay. Yeah, cultural program. Yeah, that's the day.
Namaste, Pranam, greetings. This is Daksh Chaya from Kutch, Gujarat, India, and I am here congratulating to IIRF, the India-US branch, and today on this occasion I am going to welcome the students of Bharatanatyam from Synchro Academy.
Vakratunda Mahakaya.
So we are resuming, since we're running behind schedule, we are resuming the session. We have all the 4 speakers waiting online. So I request everyone to come back into the hall. Raghu, can you please invite everyone back into the auditorium? The congressman just left us, and we had a great session, had good insight from him, and we look forward to working with them locally as well. Yeah, so we have some guests coming back with their coffee, so please stand by for a couple of minutes. Yeah. So as I mentioned earlier, this event is Raj outside? Raghu? Okay. Yeah, let's go ahead with the cultural event and get the conference started. And continue the cultural. Yeah, got the video started. So as you all know, this event is in collaboration with the Institute of Chartered Accountants of India, Dallas chapter. We have Raj Nalla. Raj, can you welcome the gathering back and get the second part of the event going? No, we're continuing now. Yeah. After Raj speaks, we can get to the video.
Thank you, Guru. Welcome back, everyone. It's Sunday, so thanks for sparing time. And I see that this event is already successful for the time that you have given. It's not easy to do an event on Sunday morning. So thank you, everyone, for joining us from all parts of the world, especially in India. I know it's quite late now. My name is Raj Nalla. I'm the current chairman of ICAI, the Institute of Chartered Accountants of India, Dallas chapter. I congratulate IIRF for their launch in the US and wish best. I'll take a minute or two to brief about what we do in US being chartered accountants. As you know, the Institute of Chartered Accountants of India is the second largest accounting body in the world. In the US, we have an estimated 5,000 plus chartered accountants who also have varied degrees, either CPAs, CFAs, and every professional degree that we can imagine. We started about 7-8 years ago to start and accumulate all the finance professionals that we have with a common denominator called chartered accountant degree. Over the period of time, we were successful in bringing 3,000 people under one umbrella at this point. And we're working towards getting all others also on board. We have a vision to be the bridge between corporate US and India, collaborate India-US trade and commerce, be the think tank. That's a common factor for IIRF. And when Guru mentioned, that was no-brainer for us to join, to collaborate with every opportunity that comes. The CA is we're trying to create a platform for chartered accountants for networking, creating business opportunities, and for CPAs to give a platform to collaborate on various topics, continuously lobby for being a voice of chartered accountant fraternity in the US, and get recognition for chartered accountants for what they have done in the US. And we are working with AICPA and other accounting bodies for that recognition. We currently have 7 chapters in 7 different cities, 10 representative offices, and again, 10 different cities. We are trying to have one office in every city by 2025, with the sole objective of creating a network of professionals that can help business, trade, employment opportunities, and be the think tank as things evolve, both culturally and professionally. So this morning when I was coming out, my daughter asked me, "Where are you going?" So I said, like, we are going to launch IIRF. So what is it? I said, it's a think tank. I said, yeah, I know what is a think tank. I said, well, how do you know what is a think tank? We do it in school. So what I asked her, what do you do? We try to solve small problems in class and school. So I said, you already know much. So this is about, a broader aspect that deals beyond school, or maybe including school, exchange of cultures. I'm very happy that Guru invited us, and some of our professionals are also board members in the IIRF already. So that said, thanks for the opportunity for sharing the dais under the able leadership of Colonel Cheng Ji. I'm sure US and India will do whatever it's set out to do. So, and sir, whatever help you need from ICI, CA professionals, will always be there for you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Guru.
Since we are running behind schedule, I'm reshuffling a little bit. We'll get the conference going straight away. We have two speakers from Boston who need to who have a hard stop. So we'll have Priya Samant and Rajendra Dechpalli coming in pretty soon to speak to us via video conference. And after that, we will have a 7-minute cultural video, and then we'll invite speakers from India, Ambassador Trigunat and Admiral Sinha, to speak to us. I know it's getting a little late in India, but thank you for your understanding. I'd like to again invite Raj. Can you introduce Rajendra Dechpalli? Rajendra, thank you for accepting the invite at a short notice. Raj will introduce him, and we can't wait to hear from you on your perspective on Indo-US security and economy. Thank you.
Thank you, Guru. I take this opportunity to introduce one of the guests for the event, Rajendra Dechpalli. Rajendra Dechpalli manages all of USIS's communication needs and public affairs. He oversees interactions with the member organizations, social communities, and media across the US and India. He has rich experience of over 18 years and has been involved with USISC for the last 7 years. In the past, Rajendra has worked extensively on US-India civil nuclear deal. He has also organized meetings of the Indian Armed Forces generals in New Jersey during their campaign for US-India civil nuclear deal. He was part of the team that hosted over 120 senators and congressmen in Washington, D.C. in 2002. Rajendra has worked in many Indo-American organizations such as Indian American Forum for Political Education and Indian National Overseas Congress to promote US-India partnership. Rajendra holds a master's degree in computer science from New York Institute of Technology and is a certified Oracle, C, and Unix programmer. He has been organized as the best area governor in Toastmasters District 46. Rajendra is also an avid sports and wildlife lover and enjoys running. Thank you.
Thank you so much. My greetings to the Indus International Research Foundation members and best wishes on behalf of US-India Security Council and our president, Mr. Ramesh Vishwanath Kapoor. I wish you success in this new venture, and I hope you will be successful in further strengthening the bond between the largest democracy and the oldest democracy. The US-India Security Council has been working in strengthening the security and trade partnership between US and India. The security angle is very important, we realized when we were working on the civil nuclear deal between India and US. There had come a point when there were a lot of roadblocks in getting this deal ahead, which was one of the foreign policy visions of President Bush. And that nuclear deal had to have the support of several, more than 120 Democrats, and it was almost impossible to have the Democrats support the civil nuclear deal. That is when the Indian American community, the US-India Security Council, came up with a strategy that the best way to further strengthen the friendship and bond is to get the security angle between US and India. And we worked with several veteran groups here and the Indian American community in the US to write to the congressmen and senators that US needed a stable and a secure ally in the Pacific, that is India, in view of the threat from China and the instability due to Pakistan and Afghanistan. And towards this, we had got armed services personnel from India. We got Lieutenant General Jacob, Admiral Nair, and Air Marshal Jayal to talk to the senators and congressmen here. And the main concern then was the military use of the nuclear technology. And we assured the lawmakers here that India has no intention of using this technology for military purposes. And that is when the deal went through in the Senate and the Congress. It was a historic deal because it allowed India to come out of the sanctions that were imposed on our country when we had the Pokhran blast. Similarly, the US-India Security Council also worked with the late Senator McCain and ensured that India was designated as a strategic military partner of the US. We worked with several senators and lawmakers, including Senator Warner, and ensured that this bill was signed on the eve of President Obama leaving office in 2016. This strategic military partnership allows India not only the access to hardware when we make purchases, but also technology, which will help India manufacture military equipment in India, which is part of Atmanirbhan policy of the government. As we speak, the US-India Security Council is also working on getting India the NATO ally status. Right now, US has 5 countries who are NATO ally and they status for trade purposes, and they enjoy very good benefits in doing business with US. And it is our desire that India be given this NATO ally status so that trade, defense, and research in these areas, there's further partnership and increase in commerce between the two democracies. And I think the future of the world is the partnership that defines the two democracies. And I hope that this organization, the Indus International Research Foundation, will work with other Indian American organizations, including US-India Security Council, in furthering this bond and this friendship between the two democracies. On behalf of US-India Security Council and our president and our board members, I wish you the very best. Jai Hind, God bless America, and God bless India. Thank you.
Thank you, Rajinder Dijpali, and sorry to have kept you waiting, and thank you for accepting the invite so in such a short notice. You really struck the chord in terms of going forward. The geopolitical situation getting redefined radically. I think India and US have a substantial role to play together. And with someone like you being in the Indo-US Security Council, we look forward to supporting you, working with you, or if there's anything that IIRF can supplement or complement, we are here as resources. And it's kind of very important that someone like you addresses this forum, which you did, to drive home the point the two major democracies of the world lead the future. So there's a substantial paradigm shift that's happening, and we'd like to see the role we can play in that paradigm shift, not as policymakers, but as enablers. And Rajinder, thank you. And if you need to go, we totally understand, and have a great rest of your Sunday, and we'll continue to be in touch with you.
Thank you.
Thank you. So we move on to our next speaker, Priya Samant. Priya has done a lot of work again in the Indo-American corridor. She's on the boards of several organizations that bring both nations together, and she also has a interesting, diversification into the entertainment sector, and she'll talk more about how she's working with Huzu in Bollywood, with metaverse and NFTs, and she heads a metaverse company in Boston, and she's also making a significant impact in the Indo-US corridor, in the trade economy, and other sectors. Priya, I would not like to take too much time. I'd like to you to introduce yourself beyond what I mentioned, and please share your insights. As you all know, we are discussing Indo-US security and economy, specifically in the context of fast-changing world, given the fact that the trade, the economy, the exports and imports between India and US is rising substantially. There are large issues to be addressed in terms of cybersecurity, in terms of defense, in terms of healthcare, supply chain problem. So there are several dimensions that the next three speakers will try to cover. And I'll let Priya. Welcome, Priya. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Guru, for this opportunity. And thank you and good morning to all of you for taking your time to be here on Sunday morning. So my name is Priya Samant, and I am based in Boston, Massachusetts. And my area is in the work of technology, entertainment, and I'm very passionate about strengthening the US-India relationship. So India is and has always been an essential partner to the US in realizing the shared vision of free and open Indo-Pacific trade. It has not only impacted the American soil via trade, but also strengthened the bond through cultural exchanges and commonalities that the two democracies have. Organizations such as Quad has quite often been instrumental in solidifying the strategic and the security dialogue. Alongside, the soft cultural ties have also played a vital role in keeping the connection strong, where music, movies, people became the center of exchanging ideas, ethnicities, and diplomacy. The recent matter of Ukraine has cast a shadow over the relationship between the two nations. Although I believe our nations have much more in common on strategic, economic, and cultural terms than the differences they have. India and the US thrive on building the bond stronger and understand the importance of being an ally. Henceforth, in the near future, the scope of Indo-US relationship looks absolutely vast, positive, and promising, wherein alongside trade, economic, defense, and security relations, the two countries will also focus on cultural, educational, and soft policy aspects. We can surely expect and prepare for a double of growth and cooperation while strengthening the bond with even more in all aspects. With US-India relations, my expertise are in the area of entrepreneurship, technology, and cultural diplomacy. I'm a CEO and co-founder of a Web3 NFT company based in Massachusetts called Abris. I use these areas of focus in strengthening the US-India relationship. Sharing here some of my recent work. So in 2019, I gave a concept of impact advising for cause and culture based narratives to Indian cinema with a credit title that's given in the films. And how do you bring these narratives to a global platform? So my recent movie that released in 2022 was The Kashmir Files. I was the impact advisor to the North America for the movie The Kashmir Files. Apart from doing the impact for the movie, I also conceived a special and a very impactful congressional reception of Indian Americans from the Kashmiri Pandit community at the US Capitol Hill, which was attended by Congressman Raja Krishnamurthy, Congressman Andy Barr, and statement from Senator Mark Warner was also shared. It was hosted by the US-India Security Council. So it was also my honor to initiate and lead the course of exchange of cultures through Miss Mary Milbin, the first American artist to be invited as the cultural ambassador for the United States for her first visit to India, strengthening the US-India relationship. We were the guest of the Indian Council for Cultural Relations, Government of India. So before I conclude, I would like to say I'm forever indebted to my motherland for inculcating in me the values of humanity, and to my homeland, the United States of America, for the inclusion and giving me the opportunities to use these values to create a positive impact. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Priya. You made a significant, point in driving home that humanity and inclusion are so important, especially with the kind of things that we're seeing around us. And we will continue to stay in touch with you. I know you have a hard stop as well. And thank you for sharing your insight with Indus International Research Foundation. And I'm sure everyone online in India are appreciating this as much as we're doing back here in Dallas in person. Priya, thank you. Have a good rest of the Sunday. And
thank you so much for having me. Thank you. Namaste and
God
God bless America and Jai Hind.
Thank you so much. So that gets us to moving to the next segment. I know we have two more eminent speakers from India waiting. We will take a short pause with specific apology to Ambassador Tigunat and Admiral Sinha for a slight delay. John, can we play the cultural video? This cultural team, who are also members of IIRF, have really worked hard in the last 48 hours to put together a customized event for us, and we want to say thanks to them and acknowledge the kind of art and cultural dimension that they bring to IIRF. Please stand by for the video.
Namaste, pranam, greetings. This is Daksh Chhaya from Kutch, Gujarat, India, and I am here congratulating to IIRF, the India-US branch, and today on this occasion, I am going to welcome the students of Bharatanatyam from Synchro Academy.
Vakratunda Mahakaya Surya Koti Samaprabha Nirvignam Kuru Me Deva Sarvakaryeshu Sarvada Sarvakaryeshu Sarvada Sarvakaryeshu Sarvada Gurur Brahma Gurur Vishnu Gurur Devo Maheshwara Gurur Sakshat Para वाचिकं सर्ववाङ्मयम् आहार्यं चन्द्र तारादि तं वन्दे सात्विकं शिवो
Wow, 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 wow. Very good, very good, very good. बच्चों very much excited. देखो IIRF जो भी काम करता है वो अपने आप में एक हिस्टोरिकल मोमेंट बन जाती है. Oh, what is your lovely name, please? क्या नाम है आपका?
प्राची चावड़ा.
प्राची चावड़ा. What is your good name? Oh, lovely little cute boy.
कृतिका पाटनिया.
Kritika.
पाटनिया.
Kritika Patrania. Prachi and you?
भव्या ठक्कर.
Bhavya and you?
हनी कोटेरिया.
Honey, एक minute. Wait. Okay. Feel proud we are associated with IIRF. And now in US. नमस्कार करें सब बोलो. We love IIRF. बोलो.
Love IIRF.
Be proud of you IIRF.
We proud of you IIRF.
Okay. Thank you.
God, make me an instrument. Oh God, make me an instrument of your peace. Oh God, make me an instrument. Oh God, make me an instrument of your peace. Where there is hate, let me bring love. Where there is hurt, let me forgive. Where there is doubt, let me bring faith. Where there is despair, let me show hope. Where there is darkness, let me be your light. Where there is sadness, let me spread joy. Let me spread joy. Oh God, make me an instrument. Oh God, make me an instrument of your peace. La 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 la. Let's join, make peace. Let's join, bring love. Let's join, rejoice the glory of home. Let's join, make peace. Let's join, bring love. Let's join, rejoice the glory of home. Let's join, make peace. Let's join, bring love. Let's join, rejoice the glory of home. Let's join, make peace. Let's join, bring love. Let's join, rejoice the glory of home. Let's join, make peace. Let's join, bring love. Let's join, rejoice. The glory of home, the heaven on earth, here and now. God, make me an instrument. Oh God, make me an instrument of your peace, of your peace, of your peace.
Namaste and many congrats to IIRF and its new venture. All my best wishes and lots of love, peace and joy. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Let's give them a big applause. Synchrony Group from Kutch. They are also members of IIRF. That was Daksh Chaya who sang, and the children did a great job doing that wonderful dance. They're from a music family. Kajal Chaya was a Saregama winner, and Daksh is her son. She actually gave the background music for the dance program we saw. Synchrony Group, Kaushal Chaya ji, Kajal Chaya ji, and Daksh. If you're watching online, thank you very much for this great piece of entertainment, so well customized to IIRF. And let's join, make peace, and let's bring heaven on earth. What a great message. Thank you so much. So we'll move on to the next segment of the conference. And it's time to invite Sridhar to introduce Ambassador Trigunath. Ambassador Trigunath doesn't need any introduction per se. He's been with us at IIRF. He's a patron. He's been with us throughout our journey, been extremely supportive. And we feel so reinforced with Ambassador Trigunath being here. And he's kind of, he has that international presence, even though he's based in Delhi. I've interacted with him several times. He's been a guiding force for IIRF and our seminars, especially in the international relations, diplomatic world. I must also acknowledge before Sridhar introduces that when Afghanistan situation is going on and US troops were pulling out, we had a couple of people through the congressional office approaching us to see if we could help them to there were a couple of people stuck in Afghanistan, and Ambassador Trigunath tried to use his good offices to get them to safety. So IIRF, I think, silently in the background has been doing a lot of work, and thanks to the leaders and diplomats like Ambassador Trigunath. And I can't wait to hear you, Ambassador. But before that, we have Sridhar Krishnan, Vice President of Indus International Research Foundation, introducing Ambassador.
Thanks, Guru. It gives me great pleasure in inviting Ambassador Anil Trigunath. As a career diplomat, Ambassador Trigunath has served in the Indian missions in Cote d'Ivoire, Bangladesh, Mongolia, US, Russia, Sweden, and Nigeria. He has also served in Moscow as the Deputy Chief of Mission in the rank of Ambassador. He was India's ambassador to Libya, Jordan, and High Commissioner to Malta, and he superannuated in 2016. He holds a postgraduate in physics from Agra University and studied Russian history, culture, and language at JNU, New Delhi. As a visiting fellow, he conducted research work on WTO and regional trading blocks at the Oxford University. He is a regular contributor and commentator on foreign and economic policy, education, and interfaith dialogue related issues. West Asia, Africa, Russia, and managing India's interest in conflict zones are his special interests, special areas of interest. He is associated with several think tanks and chambers of commerce. Ambassador Trignoyat is a distinguished fellow and head of West Asia Experts Group at Vivekananda International Foundation, member of Governing Council and USANAS Foundation, Indian Forum for Public Diplomacy, Future Billionaire International Network, and India-Japan Foundation. These are some of his membership on the think tanks. He's a visiting fellow and advisor at the Asian Institute of Diplomacy and Internal Affairs and at Nepal Institute of International Cooperation and Engagement. He's also the secretary of Association of Indian Diplomats. Presently, Ambassador Trignoyat is the president of MIICCIA, Chamber of Commerce, Industry and Agriculture. Recently joined the International Advisory Council of Confederation of Indian Industries, CII. He is also on the board of advisors of BRICS, Chamber of Commerce, and Asia-Africa Chamber of Commerce, as well as the honorary member of International Trade Council, Brussels. He is also a member of All India Management Association, Oxford Cambridge Society of India, and serves on the board of advisors at Peaceful Mind Foundation, as well as Confederation of Education Excellence, New Delhi. As a peace ambassador, Mr. Trignoyat is closely associated with interfaith dialogue, peace and harmony efforts in the society, especially through Unity Dialogue and World Congress of Religions, Kazakhstan. Mr. Trignoyat, please.
Thank you, Mr. Sridhar. Very good morning to everyone. Mr. Guru Savle, Colonel Chenzi, can you hear me, please?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Oh, okay. Well, thank you once again for inviting me today, and the distinguished participants have been waiting for quite some time now. It's been a wonderful occasion, especially as I see that IIRF is expanding its footprints in a realistic manner in the United States of America, which happens to be our largest trading partner and a comprehensive global strategic partner. Most of you must have read about it, but in May 2020 this year, in Tokyo Summit, on the sidelines of the Quad meeting of the leaders, Prime Minister Modi had a meeting with President Biden, in which he mentioned about our bilateral relations as a partnership of trust and a force for good. This is known that we are natural and trusted partners. There is a great cohesion and convergence of interests between the largest democracy and the greatest democracy, despite various challenges that we all face. But we also have certain differences in policies. India has been following a policy of, especially in the foreign policy domain, a policy of multi-alignments. It is not really keen to subscribe to an alliance kind of a security architecture, which has been the forte of the US foreign policy since Cold War. Situation is also changing on the global landscape. We have seen that India has taken a position on a Russian-Ukraine war, which was driven by its quest for strategic autonomy, providing sanity to the international discourse, providing space for dialogue and diplomacy, reiterating essentially the guiding principles of the UN Charter of territorial integrity and sovereignty of all nations. You must have seen that in Samarkand 2 weeks ago, nearly 10 days ago, Prime Minister Modi, when he met President Putin, he mentioned what he has been telling him in private and otherwise during his official calls to cease the hostilities. When he says the era of war is over, it means that we should not give a short shrift to dialogue and diplomacy and the peace. Because today, the whole world is suffering because of the war, which has not even recovered from the pandemic. And we might have another hotspot in the Indo-Pacific and the Taiwan Straits. The fact remains is that the geopolitics and the competition, whether it is geoeconomic or geostrategic, between the United States and China on the one hand, United States and Russia on the other hand, have implications that are extremely difficult for any other country to avoid. In a situation like that, you need countries like India, which can stand up and say the right thing, which is not driven by short-term interests or a myopic vision. Because we say that the blind cannot lead the blind. You have to be wise enough to be able to talk about it. We have immense commonalities between our two countries. As I mentioned earlier, that USA has emerged as largest trading partner. I used to be trade commissioner in the US from 1993 to 1996, when our trade used to be somewhere around $5 billion. But today it's crossed nearly over $100 billion. And USA this year emerged as our largest trading partner, beating even China. So trade, technology, investment, and all are moving ahead. Our security cooperation, and it was mentioned in one of the presentations that today USA is our major defense partner, whether it is in the exchange of various agreements or purchase of equipments. And of course, we saw the Abhyuday Group talking about the kind of synergies and how this America first and India first approaches can be reconciled to a mutual benefit. The fact remains that we will have to continue to work together for the global good. We have differences and we'll continue to have differences. But certain things tend to put a spook in the wheel, as they say. For example, only a few weeks ago, United States, in its wisdom, granted $450 million to the Pakistanis, who are the haven of terrorism, and everybody knows it, to refurbish their F-16 aircrafts that were initially given to fight terrorism. Now, even a child can tell you that you can't kill a fly with an F-16. So what is it? It is going to be used against India, creating an instability. We understand that it's business. We understand that it's a military industrial complex that often dictates the way the foreign policy or the security policy of a country would go. Capturing markets is very much in the genesis of the conflict. So we understand that. But at the same time, if we are global comprehensive strategic partners, we understand one another. We are not trying to undermine one another's situation. Then this kind of a security compromise creates some kind of a mistrust at the grassroots level. While the politicians may agree on things and say grandiose statements, frankly, the fact remains is at the grassroots level, the people have to be able to understand that you are truly a reliable partner and a trustworthy friend. That you are not simply looking at a country or India for that matter as a tool for the policy against the Chinese or containment of that. So this is very important in order to convey that. And as a think tank, it is important that we interact with the American think tanks. And it was mentioned in the beginning by Guru that there are 1777 think tanks. And sometimes I do fail to understand that think tank's job is to sometimes tell the truth, show the mirror. Who's your friend? And how do you? If a friend tells you the right thing, that doesn't mean he's saying the side of other. Today, the Indian Foreign Minister Jaishankar in the Security Council, in the UNGA meeting, said that we are being often asked about on whose side we are. He said we are on the side of the peace. Now, that is the difference. And that is how I would say that we need to look at it. And this will be important for our countries to move forward. We have gone ahead. We are part of the Quad. We are even in New York this week. We had a meeting of the Quad foreign ministers. A new kind of HADR on the relief operations. A new discussion, new format has been have been found out. We are members in the I2U2, which is called the West Asian Quad: Israel, India, USA, and UAE. Now, those are important initiatives that are taking place. And since we are the partners, and India has started at least punching, even if at below par, to its weight. And that's why the world is taking note of it. So we feel that various the India-US incentive for investments agreement is still in the pipeline. The bilateral trade agreement that we have been discussing, it is still in the offing. Our relationship in energy area has been a new one, that is burgeoning. We are also dealing in different kind of security dimensions. So it is in all respects becoming a relationship which is mutually sustaining in the long run. But for that, a trust has to be deepened between our two countries. And then I come to the role of our Indian diaspora in the United States, which is 4.4 million. Highly successful diaspora, and their representatives are here today. I have seen in my time in New York that the large number of financial companies from the Wall Street, IT companies, and others infrastructure companies moved to India, courtesy the help that we received from various Indian origin people working at senior levels in those companies. And they are the bridge. They are the trust repositories. And that's why, while they work together in promoting India, they are also at the same time creating a value, creating a certain super edge for the United States in the world through their contributions. So I would like to once again felicitate IIRF, Guru Sable, and Colonel Chenji for this initiative. I'm very happy to be a part of it. And my senior colleague, Admiral Sinha, is here, and we will look forward to listen to his sage views in the matter of how we can promote our relationship further. Thank you once again.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Ambassador Tigunath. You continue to inspire us. I know you told me on a phone call that even if it is 11 p.m. in India, you don't mind, and I took advantage of that. Thanks for being there. And again, apologies for the delay. Admiral Sinha will come back to you very soon. Everyone here has just been seeing me, but there's a big team beyond me, which has made this event happen. I just wanted to bring up a couple of slides to show you the kind of talent that is in IIRF leadership team, both in India and US. And we wouldn't be here without the governing board in India, who've been working selflessly for the last 12 months on making things happen for IIRF, when there's no question of what's in it for me. This is a nonprofit, this is a think tank. It's about making a contribution to the society. And this team there, Board of Governors, that started with Colonel Vijay, that's me. Then you have Dr. Venus. She is actually our global director of events, and she was instrumental in bringing Synchrony Group music team for us for this event. She's our go-to person for all the events, and she's highly creative herself. Uh, she is also a history professor in MIT University. Group Captain Rajshekar Mehta is, if I'm not mistaken, he's a winner of Ashok Chakra Award, Shaurya Chakra Award, and he's been a backbone for IIRF. I must have spoken to Mr. Mehta much more than I've spoken to Padma, my wife, in the last 1 month for this event. Right, Mr. Mehta, thank you so much for being there. I know I woke you up at 2 a.m. several times, and you've been very kind to me. And then we have Air Commodore Jory, Dr. Alka Maurya, who is the professor of business. She's teaches in B School in MIT University. I had an opportunity to do a few events with MIT University along with Dr. Alka. And then we have Colonel Ambas, and Dr. Piyush Badvia, who's also very active in the IIRF India Forum. Is hosted several events. They celebrated Vijay Divas, the 50 years of Indo-Pak war after 71. And then we have Brigadier Sandeep Nair and Colonel Madhavan. I met them in Bangalore. They both are absolutely live in IIRF. They're there anytime we need them. And both of them have been significant silent contributors to IIRF. Let's move to the next slide, John. Please give them a big hand before. So, drawing inspiration from the Board of Governors, we have Raghu. I spoke to Raghu a few months back about this foundation. I told him, look, we're doing this in India. Can we do this in US? And it probably took less than an hour for Raghu to jump in. And the kind of person I know Raghu is, when he says yes, it's a complete yes. There's really no dilly-dallying or thinking twice. He's been the backbone for us in Dallas. And Raghu, thank you for being there. Sridhar, again, he's Rahul Dravid of IIRF Dallas team. And I'm sure most of you know who Rahul Dravid is, so I won't spend time explaining that analogy, but he's really played a huge role in what we are seeing today coming to fruition. Then we have Raj Nalla, Chairman ICAI. I'm always grateful to him because it is through Raj that I met Sridhar and Raghu. And so here's my three-man army, and so we kind of now it's a four-man army, and we're expanding that. So we're marching forward. Raj, thank you for everything. We have Michael Klingon. I'm not sure if he's online. If you're online, please feel free to say hello to everyone. And Michael Klingon is in Denver. He is an entrepreneur running a very successful healthcare company. And then we have Sheetal Tucker. Everyone knows Sheetal in Dallas. He's a household name and is now busy building empires in Dallas and beyond. Sheetal, thank you for being there, and thank you for being there for IIRF as well. And I know we've been doing a lot of stuff together, and we'll continue to build things together. And then last but not the least, Mary, can you come online and say hello to everyone? Mary Lewis has been a silent contributor. She's on the board. Whatever you're seeing in terms of creatives, all the documentation, the brochures, the wonderful flyers, the press, she has been our communications director. If I can just use that title, she's a PRO. She's the face of IIRF US. She spent last 4 nights talking to several people, and last night she was awake all through doing the press release for this event. And she actually wanted to fly down to Dallas for this event. Unfortunately, circumstances did not allow, but I'm sure for the next event she will be with us. Mary, do you want to say hello? And thank you for being there. Yeah.
Thank you so much. It certainly was my honor to assist in launching this event and also communicating the message of IIRF and IIRF America. We're going to do great things together. It's such an exciting time, and the message is truly needed. It truly is a small world, and the more we work together, the more we can influence others to come together. So thank you so much.
Thank you, Mary. She also worked with Homeland Security, and she's done a lot of work with US government, and we'll probably see more of the US team going forward. I know we are kind of a little stretched for time, but we'll move on now. Thank you, John. Thank you for bringing it up, and we're done with the presentation now. So, so that takes us to the next segment. I want to welcome Admiral Sinha from India, and we have Sheetal Thakkar introducing Admiral Sinha. I just spoke to him 24 hours back. He has a great vision. He has two key messages. I won't take away the thunder from Sheetal and Admiral Sinha, but I can't wait to hear both of them. Sheetal, do the honors.
Thanks, Guru, for giving me this opportunity. And good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Is good morning or afternoon? I'm not sure.
Good morning in India.
Okay. It is my great pleasure to introduce our next guest, Vice Admiral Shekhar Sinha, founding partner of Deep Strike. Vice Admiral Sinha has distinguished career started in 1976 as a combat pilot in Indian Navy. As a frontline naval aviator, Admiral Sinha was a part of two-man team that traveled to the UK to induct the Sea Harrier Combat, the first vertical takeoff and landing capable jets in the Indian military. He served as a fleet operator officer of the Western Fleet during Operation Parakram, overseeing plans and operation deployment before eventually taking over as a fleet commander. He also held position in the Chief of Integrated Defense Staff, Flag Officer Naval Aviation, and Assistant Chief of Naval Staff. He retired from the service as a head of Indian Western Naval Command, considered the sword arm of the Indian Navy. And the Vice Admiral has been decorated with the Param Visisht Seva Medal, Ati Visisht Seva Medal, Nao Sena Medals, and Honorary ADC of the Supreme Commander. Initially, I was thinking to remember all that, but it was beyond my memories, that much achievement here. So, as a founding partner of Deep Strat, a think tank and strategic consulting company, Vice Admiral Sinha brings decades of experience as a combat naval aviator and commander of Indian Joint Services. Please welcome Vice Admiral Mr. Shekhar Sinha.
Well, namaskar, and thank you for that introduction. Firstly, congratulations to the IIRF for extending their wings into Americas. It's really a great achievement. I've been watching this very closely. Courtesy Rajshekhar Mehta, Group Captain Mehta, who's related to me. I would be failing in my duty if I didn't identify on the web my very dear friend, Ambassador Tigunayat, Vice Admiral Muralidharan, and Commodore Ajay Singh. There may be many more. If I haven't taken the names, please pardon me. Let me just quickly come to say as to what is IIRF really. IIRF America chapter is going to take the relationship between the two countries forward from here, and where it requires to possibly be, giving its push, working very hard to see that some of these areas are addressed. And I'm glad that Ambassador Tigunayat spoke about it just ahead of me. That eases my task. First of all, it is a very defining partnership between India and the US. Defining partnership because in such a quick time, which is about 15 years from the time our relationship have started, against more than 50 years of our equation with the Russians in their earlier avatar as Soviet Union. What has happened now, it is quite remarkable. Let me just point out few of them on the defense sides, since I belong to services. Intelligence, peace and stability in Indo-Pacific has been one major achievement of this friendship. You see that whatever is happening, it is being contained in some specific areas, and it hasn't spread. What is called the unruly behavior of China hasn't spread all over. It is happening at a slow time. It is mainly because the four countries, the four democracies have come together, and that itself, it deters any adversary, imagining that if these four countries, four democracies, their whole GDP combined and the military forces combined is quite formidable, and I don't think anybody should have any doubt about that. As was mentioned, India is a major defense partner. Trade, multilateralism, cyberspace, education, healthcare, in every sector there has been a fair amount of progress. Ideal partner, shared interests, but there will be divergences, as Ambassador Tribunal rightly pointed out. We have very close, the closest equation is in the counterterrorism sector, where both the CIA, FBI, and our intelligence agencies are very, very closely working to see that the terrorism is sort of eradicated or kept under full check, not only in AFPAC region, but anywhere in the world. I think we have that ability now to monitor the whole of country, possibly as far as these terror activities are concerned. Of course, there has been a bit of loss of public confidence from the US because of its little hurried exit from Afghanistan, and not very proactive on the, shall I say, on the Taiwan issue, except for making statements. Well, I'll be very frank, because these are the areas where you have to work on. And as Ambassador mentioned, that a good friend is the one who can actually point out wherever there is a requirement of making some more effort. But we have very valued regional partnership, and that will continue. To my mind, it's only going to improve. There's only one way to go, and that is northwards. There is a long-term viability, particularly in the CTC and other sectors. Malabar exercise, we started as a bilateral between two navies. It didn't have the Vardhast of the MEA at that time, but now it has become a quad. You can see there are four countries. The Malabar is a big exercise. Ambassador also mentioned about I2U2 in the Indo-Pacific. So there is a lot happening, and therefore it is important to understand that the two democracies may or may not agree on everything that happens in the world. For example, that intervention in Libya was not very well seen in India. Syria, we are not quite in line with the US. And my own sense is that this friendship, this partnership is like mother-in-law and daughter-in-law. On some they will agree, on some there will be disagreements, but they will live with each other. So this is what my very sort of loose statement on this, with the loose equation that I say. For example, why I say there will be divergences in convergence. We have complete convergence on the oceanic, or as far as the maritime issues are concerned, as far as counterterrorism are concerned, because we have complete convergence in single purpose. We see that we have to have free and open sea all across for the trade of the whole world, not only of 4 countries or 5 countries. We wish it to be completely free and open trade, free seas, open seas. On the land, on the continental sort of discussion, there will be differences. There are bound to be differences for one very big reason, that US and India have grown in 2 different environments with 2 different aspects of geopolitics governing their thought process. We have been independent for 75 years, and we look at our continental sort of outlook is based on our territorial integrity, saving our country from any attack from the northern side, because that is how the history has told us. And therefore, the friends and not so friends will all get dictated in the continent by this environment. But it doesn't mean that if you don't agree with me, you're not my friend. Because we have convergence, we have more convergence than divergence. And I'm glad that there is a good understanding in the US and good understanding in India that these are the divergences and we have to live with it and see how diplomatically and politically we can get these two, the gap can be reduced. Whereas the US has grown as a world superpower, it has got a world view, and its environment has been that of a wider geopolitics of the globe. India has not been in that league. India is still not in that league. We are there. We are coming up. Because you look at the economy, you look at the military power, you look at the years that we have been independent. It is a long way to go. And I think that as long as we understand that we are a very stable democracy, the only stable democracy in that part of the world. There's no other country is as stable a democracy as India is. So that has to be remembered. And therefore, supporting each other is very, very important. Coming to, the fundamental agreements which Ambassador mentioned, LEMOA, COMCASA, BECA, joint planning, and we are reaching. But I would also say that we may be reaching the limit of our convergences. There may be the other part we have to bring it closer. Otherwise, we are possibly at the limit. India has peaked, and I think that it has reached the ceiling of its strategic relationship as far as I can see. But defense partnership needs to go up. We are in a very good place, but we can do more. That is the point I'll make. Reduce the bureaucratic red tape on both sides. Regrettably, there are a lot of sort of historical baggage, and for that, as long as there is a political trust between two countries, I think that everything else will fall in place. We should not get driven by our bureaucracies, historically long-held archaic sort of thought process, and we have to move on. There is a fair amount of progress. Ambassador also mentioned about the trade. Yes, the trade has increased, and so has the defense sort of purchases. But India actually is in the process of making what is called the Atmanirbhar, the self-dependent sort of country, and therefore transfer of technology is one area where India will be looking at it very, very eagerly, and that is where most of our IIRF sort of team in US will have to work hard in this as to how we get the technology transfer. And I fully agree with one of our very distinguished speakers that we have to start with the medium and small manufacturing enterprises. Because unless you make the small components, you can't make a big platform. Simple as that. Or if you buy a big platform, let's not have a transactional buyer-seller equation between America and India. That does not last for very long because it is on unstable ground. And must not look at it as a buyer and seller. We must look at it, okay, we have to create an ecosystem. We have to make sure there is a democracy in that part of the world, which will make sure that the autocracies don't get an upper hand. Shortly, we are also the Prime Minister Modi is going to inaugurate the 5G network starting on the 1st of October. And hopefully by end of next year, the entire country should be covered. India has a lot of things to do. India must have more exercises with the Americans in and around the Andaman Nicobar Island, and there should be more access. They have already started using some parts of Andaman Nicobar for, patrolling in the Indo-Pacific. DTTI I just mentioned, and therefore there needs to be, we must have a long-term ambition. Unless we are ambitious, then our aspirations on both sides cannot be met. And I will just stop here because I think I've spoken for 10 minutes. I would say that these two democracies finally have come together. We have to develop trust in each other and not see everything with the prism of Cold War days. We are behind, we're much behind. You just see the time frame in which after the Cold War has ended in last 10, 15 years, how quickly have many things aligned. And it is only, as I said, there's only one way to go, and that is northwards. So I'll stop here and I'll request my IIRF colleagues in US to look at these points and see how you can make difference to the policymaker by making recommendations, policy recommendations, and that must be the aim of the IIRF, that you don't keep it to yourself. You come out with these, what do you recommend to the policymaker? I'm glad you had an honorable congressman here. Please have more of them associated with IIRF so that they can raise this issue in the House or in the Senate and see that how we can reduce those divergences to convergence. Thank you. Thank you for this great opportunity.
Guru, you are on mute.
Should I use my mute? Okay. I'm sorry about that. If I was on mute for everything I spoke, I was just saying that Admiral Sinha's insightful presentation was helpful. At the same time, I also have a message from him that we need to create some actionable points from seminars like this and see if we can take it from idea to fruition and at least enable implementation of some of the ideas. And that also leads us to a point where we need to think about how we can approach this think tank to make a difference at an individual level, at a micro level. Probably people having some immigration issues, or is there anything else that people want to leverage a think tank like this to help themselves, help the society between India and US to begin with? And I think we have a lot of work to do for sure. And I know we are behind time, and I'll continue to say that because I'm feeling a little guilty for stretching the seminar. I have a couple of questions, and we are pretty close to wrapping it up in the next 10 minutes. And I have one question from... Yeah, the question, Raghu. The chat is kind of moving. As I told you up front, before we began this meeting, we might have technology glitches, and we have it. Thanks for bearing.
Questions.
Yeah.
First one is for Colonel Vijay,
Okay.
and it's for the panel, and this for the panel. Can you read my handwriting?
I want to read it.
All right.
Yeah.
A couple of questions. Guru couldn't read my handwriting. I myself can't read it sometimes. So this one is for Colonel Vijay. Colonel Vijay, you had mentioned we believe in Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam, which is the world is the universe and all of us are part of it. But what is the downside? How can we counter those who think otherwise, who don't think like us, and are out to destroy civilized life with their crude and violent ways? How do we counter them? Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you. That's one very difficult question, because at a time when this was probably composed, this Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam is just one part of the whole sloka which goes, and it says the people with small minds, for them everything is small, and people with large minds. For them, the whole world is one. So in our Indian tradition, in our mythologies, or even your Ramayana, Mahabharata, there's always the evil and the good, the right and the wrong. It was always there and it will always be there. There are always the Devatas and Asuras who kept fighting, that Amrit Manthan and all. It will always be there, evil. But evil can only be confronted by the good and the righteous. So that's exactly where when you say two largest democracies, US and India, we always say one is the oldest and the other is the largest. And India is generally considered the largest and America is the oldest. But if you look at our Puranas and old Itihas, democracy was always there. If you read Ramayana, in the Kishkinda Kanda, it was supposed to be Vanaraha. Vanaraha means like monkey. They're not monkeys. There's a evolved species between halfway. They could speak and all that. They had a very democracy. Sugriva's kingdom, if you read Ramayana, it was so, they had a cabinet and Hanuman was one of the ministers. So it was a very, it's one of the oldest democracies. If you see Ramayana, Mahabharata, all are Puranas. And at the same time, when you talk about the largest sort of the population, yes, India today is the largest and youngest, and we are also the oldest democracy. So both sides, the population and the thing, it has been. Now, coming back to this, evil has to be fought. We have to live with it, even within. But when two democracies come together, and what the congressman rightly put it, you have to hold your ground and fight it out. That's the only way. And this politics will always be there, because the politics is the root cause of all this. You try, and the vote bank politics in democracy will always be there. But I'm sanguine and optimistic that we will. This phase will pass. That's exactly why we are here. So we want to bring the people, like-minded people together. Thank you.
Thank you, Colonel. Any questions from the audience? I'll take a couple of more questions from our chat. One of the other questions to the panel or the Colonel is, with all issues on the global stage, where do you believe IIRF or IIRF USA can make a contribution or a difference?
We are, I have no hesitation in saying we're a fledgling sort of organization. It's just been about 2.5 years. And in between, there was the pandemic, which put us back. And of course, we are in a shoestring budget. And but we have a long way to go. And like I said in my opening address, we have a very aging, very experienced, very matured, and very sort of dedicated team there back in India. But this is a branch, you can say. That's the original team. That was an idea. It was like a tree, and this is branch. And I'm sure the branch is going to get much bigger than the tree. And I, for one, won't complain. It is like a father, howsoever he is famous, he would like to see his son grow. Nothing gives more, happiness than that. And I am quite optimistic. We plan to have one in UK. I'm looking for somebody in Canada. And today you heard Mr. Raval announcing that he's going to open a chapter in Gujarat. So it takes time. India's the best NGOs on this particular think tank is about 30, 35 years old, and they're still struggling. So this is a long way. I'm in no hurry. The idea is I want to bring up a second generation, the young generation, who are much smarter than us, to take this forward. And in that context, opening of this has been a step in the right direction. You find this young man sitting to my right. He is the president of the Chartered Accountants, that whatever association you have in Dallas. So there you are. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Colonel Chenji. We do have a lot more questions. Unfortunately, we are running out of time. I want to make an appeal to so much of interest from members across the globe. Online, we're getting questions continuously. We are all accessible. IIRF US team and India team are available to take your questions. Please reach us on infousa@indusresearch.in, or you can go to our website. You do have our contact details, and we'll be happy to, you can contact any one of us and we'll be happy to respond offline. I know this discussion can go on. There's really no stopping, but all good things must come to an end. And I kind of reserved the privilege of thanking everyone myself because this event and this initiative to create IIRF in US came about magically. It happened so quickly and with so much of ease that I really want to be very, very thankful to everyone that's involved. There are a lot of names I might have missed out in my list that I'm going to spell out now. And audience, please bear with me. I won't stand for long between you and lunch, but I definitely want to thank each one of you who's made this happen for me, for IIRF, and to everyone around the globe. So let me start by thanking Congressman Mark Vesey for inspiring us and for spending Sunday morning prime time with us. And thanks to Melissa as well. She's been extremely supportive. Please give them a good hand. In absentia, and while leaving, he did mention that he will involve IIRF in several strategic initiatives in Dallas, and we'll follow up with him. My thanks also to all the 4 speakers, especially to Ambassador Trigunat and Admiral Sinha for staying very late, almost morning in India, and being so thoughtful, being so supportive. It is not just today. We've done several events with Ambassador Trigunat and Admiral Sinha. They have never said no for any invitation we've given them to speak. And they've never declined an opportunity to be with us. And so there's something right that the India team is doing, the Board of Governors in India, that eminent leaders like them are kind of continuously supporting. And thank you very much. Thanks to Priya Samant and Rajinder Dijpali for jumping in very quickly. They're in Boston and they want to play an active role in IIRF going forward as well. Moving on, it's not in any sequence, but I just kind of made sure I just put on all the names. There's no sequence, so please don't get this wrong. Thanks to Dr. Venus Jain. She spent last few days putting things together for us. Being director of events, she's also coordinated several initiatives for us, including this one, and also bringing that cultural diversion, which we badly needed today, I'm sure, right? So nobody will disagree with me on that. And thanks to Synchrony Group, Kajal Chaya, Kaushal Chaya, and Daksh Chaya. We will come back to you more frequently because we want more entertainment. And thank you for being there. Thanks to Group Captain Mehta. He's always awake for IIRF, and night and day doesn't matter to him. Thanks to the entire Indian Governing Board, and thanks to all the patrons and advisors. Thanks, Padma, my wife. So she spared me for this event, and every month I have something going, so she's sparing me all the time. So, but special thanks to you, yeah. And thanks to the Dallas board, Sridhar, Raghu, Sheetal, Mary, Michael, and Raj. I know you've been on the road every day I was wondering if you switched your job to airline crew. So I'm glad you're here today. Yeah, thank you. Special thanks again to Mary. Thanks to Policy Times, they've been a media partner. Akram Hauk, he's been doing a tremendous job. Akram, unfortunately, we're running out of time. We can't bring you in for this event to speak, but we will have several opportunities going forward. But the support you've given us has been phenomenal, and our partnership will only grow from here. And thank you, Asif, and your entire team for helping us put this event together in terms of creatives and also the media coverage you all are giving us in India. By the way, Policy Times is actually a media vertical, especially focusing on media for policy making. So IIRF has been their strategic partners and vice versa. And very soon we'll probably have them in US with us doing the coverage. And then moving on, thanks, John. You did a great job. You gave us less jitters on technology. Let's put our hands together for John. And how do you pronounce your company's name? Zoe Audiovisual? Zoe Audiovisual. Great job. Thank you, guys. And then thanks to Weston. Thanks to Shante Crow. I must make a mention of this. We came to see this venue at midnight, just the day before. And Shante, the sales manager, was available online with us to make sure that we get an entry into the room. And then she told me, look, I'm available for you 24/7. And she's been so supportive because we put this event together in a hurry. And I couldn't believe it that, Weston can rise up to that kind of challenge, people wanting to see venue at 12 midnight, and she wakes up and she's coordinating with the front desk and so on. So Weston Group, thank you so much. Great venue, great acoustics. Thank you for your hospitality. And you'll probably taste the food very soon, thanks to Windu, our caterers. And thanks to the press, you'll see some press briefs, going forward. Dhaval, Raval, thank you very much for flying in all the way from LA just for this event. And 3 out of 4 speakers mentioned you and your project in their presentations. Goes to show how integrated your vision is in terms of what we can do as a collaborative effort between India and US. And keep up the great work you're doing, and congratulations. Moving on, I also want to thank all the corporate members of IIRF and partners. And also, Dhaval, thank you for volunteering to open the foundation in Ahmedabad, and we look forward to working with you. And we also want you to open a foundation in Washington now that you'll be in Washington pretty soon, right? Great. Last but not the least, special thanks to Raghu and Sridhar. I've taken away their late nights and weekends in the last few weeks. So and please give them a big hand. And of course, thanks to Institute of Chartered Accountants of India. I know some of you made it, Shrima, Satish, and a few others. I think we have, 40, 50 members? Yeah, next time we should get all 50. Yeah. So let's try for that. And above all, thanks to each one of you for being so patient with us. These topics are not really very exciting for many people. It may be boring. I know, speaking to one of my close friends who's pretty well known in Dallas, I told him, he's like, Guru, this is so boring. I'm not going to be there. He was very blunt. He said, look, this is boring. I don't care what government does. I don't care what think tanks or don't even count me. So it's hard. Very few people connect. And, Padma was talking to Colonel Chenji and myself yesterday. So she was saying that very few people find that connect between a think tank and ourselves. And congratulations to all of you for being in this room till the end of the event, which shows that you have some openness to the think tank. And thank you for that.
Guru, can I add 30 seconds?
Go ahead. Yeah.
Mind up? Should I come there? It's okay.
No, you can talk.
Is it working? Okay. First of all, I want a small apology. I don't get the names correct sometimes. In fact, I got stuck when I was trying to, name the congressman or even these companies. Because I myself, my surname Chenji is a little misleading. A lot of people, when I went to Vietnam a couple of years back for something, there was one professor who would come regularly to Delhi, and in World History Conference, I had a thing to interact. He invited me for a conference. I had gone there, and he sent somebody to the airport. And he was quite familiar, this professor, that every time, and in India, there's a tradition when you address somebody, you say, so-and-so G. So they thought my name is Chen G. So he split the name. And the gentleman who came to me, he was one of the scholars. He was doing a PhD under him. So he was looking, he had a board, and I was looking for him. And after quite some time, I was not very sure it's the same. Then when everybody has left, we are the only two. So he said, he thought I was a Chinese. So he said, this looks like Chen Ji. I said, no, it is Chen Ji. Then he said, you are Chen Ji. I said, okay, whatever it is. So this on the lighter side, we have a very heavy day. So I thought I'll just share this before we break off for the lunch. Thank you very much. You all been very patient and very cooperative. I'm really grateful. I've come all the way from India for this, and I'm sure for you it should. I really appreciate that. Thank you. Jai Hind.
Good. So we'll see you all at lunch, and all of you online. Good night in India, and talk to you soon. Bye-bye.
Indus International Research Foundation is a global think tank with its physical presence in India and US.